Colonel Darrell Elmore as he retires after nearly 38 years of dedicated service. We're joined today by Colonel Strati, Garrison Commander, 101st Airborne. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Lieutenant Colonel James L. Holloway, Jr., Deputy Commanding Officer of the 5th Special Forces Group Airborne. Now approaching, ladies and gentlemen, is the reviewing officer for today's ceremony.
Bring your units to attention and present arms. Bring your units to order arms and parade rest. Stand, ready, two. Okay, and on! Eyes! Point! And move! Eyes! Point! Order! Order! Eyes! Wait! Wait! Eyes! Wait! Afraid! Pass! Colors, center, march. Detachment. Forward. Huh. Detachment. Halt. Sir, the colors are present. Present, command.
of the Secretary of Army, the Legion of Merit is awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Darrell G. Elmore for exceptionally meritorious service, culminating over 37 years of distinguished service as the Deputy Commanding Officer, 5th Special Forces Group Airborne. Lieutenant Colonel Elmore consistently portrayed the true professional, both in peace and war. His performance of duty, loyalty to country, and selfless service to the men under his charge were of the highest caliber. Lieutenant Colonel Elmore's extraordinary achievements throughout his military career reflect distinct credit upon himself, the United States Army Special Operations Command Airborne, United States Special Forces Command Airborne, and the United States Army signed J.T. Scott, Lieutenant General, United States Army Commanding. Let it be known that life membership in the 5th Special Forces Group Airborne, 1st Special Forces, is hereby conferred on Lieutenant Colonel Darrell G. Elmore. Said lifetime membership is thereby entitled to all rights and privileges henceforth from this day. Signed, John W. No, Jr., Colonel, Special Forces Commanding. We'll now hear remarks from John W. No, Jr., Colonel, 5th Special Forces Group Commanding.
Colonel Skrosky, Cody Elmore, son of Colonel Elmore, Mrs. Kay Stryker, Colonel Elmore's fiance, Major Bud Gonzalez, an old friend, SF Association, distinguished guests, family, friends, and soldiers of the 5th Legion. National preparedness means, first of all, the moral obligation of the people. An organization which creates in the heart of every citizen a sense of its obligation to service to the nation, especially in time of war. For over 37 years, Lieutenant Colonel Elmore dedicated his life to the preservation of our country's ideals. A professional, for sure. A quiet professional, absolutely. Over his many years in the Army, he has exuded the moral, mental, physical, and emotional courage to accomplish every mission. His courage, however, was that firmness of the spirit, the moral backbone, which, while fully appreciating the dangers involved, nevertheless went on with that understanding. Bravery is physical, and he was brave. Courage is mental and moral. You may be cold all over, your hands may tremble, your legs may quake, and your knees may be ready to give way. That is fear. If, nevertheless, you go forward, if in spite of this physical deflection, you continue to lead your men, you have courage. Mo Elmore had courage. In all of his command assignments, Lieutenant Colonel Elmore took on the leader's confidence and spirit. It is no exaggeration to say that as a leader, he was the most decisive factor in building unit cohesion. Although the process of building that cohesion took various lengths of time, whether combat was imminent or how long the members of the unit had been together prior to his arrival, he, the leader, was the key to success. It appears that the Army maxim that the commander is responsible for everything that his unit does or fails to do has usually been quite literally correct in historical terms. The unit has depended on the commander for his spirit, his drive, and his direction. When the commander was decisive, vigorous, and in control, the unit usually succeeded. For over 37 years, Lieutenant Colonel Elmore and his units always succeeded. He was successful because he invariably commanded the unqualified respect of his subordinates and his peers. He led by example. He was cool under fire. He always tended to seek duty with troops, while others tended to avoid such duty. Some individuals appear to be born leaders, while other individuals can be developed into leaders. But a solid foundation of character is essential in any successful leader. Mo Elmore is a born leader with character. Mo, we'll miss you, but you'll never be far from our minds because of your many contributions are alive in the eyes of the soldiers that stand before you here today, all of whom have benefited from your presence and your devotion to duty. May God bless you and good luck in your new endeavors.
Just before remarks from Colonel Elmore, there is one additional presentation by the Special Forces Association. Lieutenant Colonel Elmore is being awarded the Certificate of Sniveling, an award to the above individual for outstanding performance in the art of complaining, moaning, groaning, bitching, and crying above what all is normally expected in the spirit of brotherhood.
And probably richly deserved.
We'll now hear remarks from Colonel Elmore.
37 years, 7 months and days, seems like it's just a blink of the eye. I'm probably one of the few people around who really was in the Brown Shoe Army, ODs, and I was trained by the remnants and the survivors of World War II and Korea. So I had a real good, strong basis, and that's one of the reasons I probably always got in your hair, thinking I knew more about your jobs than you did. I had the chance to be everything in a rifle platoon, from ammo bearer for the rocket launcher to platoon leader. And so I've always felt, and I'm sure you've seen that I'm always in there, fingers in the way, trying to be involved. But you know, those who've worked with me, that I'm a real stickler for protocol and very hard to come up to talk to. But those of you who've worked with me in detail over the last few years realize that where my love was where the troops were with mud and sand in their shoes, rifles in their hands, or parachutes on their back. 37 years has passed like the blink of an eyelash, from a brown shoe, a brown boot getting ready to invade the Suez Canal, to another scared GI in the front seat of a vehicle in Somalia. The things don't change, the soldiers don't change. Soldiering is the same as it always was. I think the greatest accolade I'm going to have when I leave was from one of the sergeants in this group, and after a day in Somalia turned and said, you know, you're still a pretty good hand. Well, now my body's starting to give up on me, kind of like the Indian in the old movie, The Outlaw Josie Wales. He didn't surrender, but his horse did. Well, I feel like I'm going to have to surrender because my body's giving in. But for you guys, you're the future. I can't be prouder to have left my active service as a member of the 5th Group. I've worn this flash 3 times. In Fort Bragg, in Vietnam, and here. And the quality has not changed. Today's Army may not be the same as mine. Mine was a draftee Army, and it's gone and evolved to the volunteer Army. In some ways, it's the best we've ever had. In others, it'll never surpass the one I joined, because we still have the same quality in our hearts and our minds, but we don't have the same broad spectrum of America reflected in our ranks that we had before. But today we're getting ready to reinvent another wheel. It's called the austerity wheel. The people that make the decisions are taking away the very guts of our service, and so every one of you out there is going to have to be more skillful, smarter, be more prepared to do things with more innovation and imagination than ever before. Yeah, the wheel will turn and we'll get healthier again, but right now it's going to be tougher for you. So I'm going to just leave you with a legacy that I came into organizations of excellence. I'm leaving an organization of superiority. It's been my privilege I don't want to really earn that Sniveler Award in public. It's my privilege, my honor to have been a member of your ranks.